Hello everyone. Here again we have a program and we need to find the output of this particular program. Clear? So let's start with execution of the program. Look here, this is our main function and program execution will start from this particular main function. Now the first instruction is a variable declarative statement, and this is a auto storage class. This variable declarative statement is from auto storage class. That means memory will allocate from where? From stack section. Clear? That means here in this particular instruction we have one array, two array, and then one integer variable. For all of these two array and integer variable I, memory will allocate from stack section, as this is from auto storage class. Now let's say this is our stack section in memory. So first a memory will allocate for the array X. Let's say base address is 2001, and this array will contain 5 different elements of integer type. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The index of this array will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. The base address we consider it as 2001. Now as this memory is allocated from stack section and we did not specify any initial value, so system will initialize the array with garbage value. Now coming to the next variable, that is another array. So array, now the array name is Y, and let's say memory allocated for this array from 2040. The base address of this Y will be again 2040. Again this particular array will contain 5 different elements. The index will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. The address is 2040, and again this array again will initialized with garbage value. Garbage, 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 garbage. Now coming to the next variable, that is I. So for I, again one memory will allocate for the variable I. This I again initialized with garbage value. Let's say the base address is 2060. Now this is the execution of first instruction, and when the first instruction is executed, at that time system will allocate all this memory from stack section. Now coming to the next instruction. In next instruction, this is a for loop, and this is our loop body. Clear? And inside this loop body we have 3 different instructions, and in the for loop the value of I is initialized to 0. That means this value of I will become 0. Now the next instruction is the termination condition. Now look at here, the value of I is 0, so 0 less than 5. Now the first condition becomes 0 less than 5. Yes, this condition is true. So what happened? System will execute the loop body. From here system will execute all the instructions inside the loop body. So what is there? The first instruction inside loop body is xi, and the value of I is 0, so it is representing this particular location in array I. Now in this location the value will be, the new value initialized assigned will be b plus I. Now look at here, this b is a character constant, as this is enclosed within single quotation. Now whenever we deal with any character constant, at that time system work with the respective ASCII value of that particular character. Now what is the ASCII value of this capital B? The ASCII value of this capital B is 66. Capital B ASCII value is 66. Now what will be the result of this? The capital ASCII value of capital B is 66 plus I, and the value of I is 0. So what is the result? 66 plus 0, that means 66, and this value will store in xi, that means x0. So the value in x0 will become 66. So new value 66 will store in x0. Now coming to the next instruction. In next instruction yi, that means now we are working in the array, in our second array y, and the index again is 0. Clear? Now the value assigned in y0 is small b plus I. Now again this small b is a character constant. Now what is the ASCII value of small b? The ASCII value of small b is 98. Clear? So 98 plus 0, what is that? 98 again. So this 98 will store in y0. So the new value stored in y0 will be 98. Clear? Now this printf instruction. So now system execute this printf instruction and we will get output here. Clear? This is our output screen. So what is this? Printf will do %d, so it will come here, and here one instruction is given, one statement is given, that is yi. So the value of I is 0, so y0 minus xi, that means x0. So what is there in y0? y0 is 98. So now we get 98 minus x0. What is there in x0? x0 is 66. So what it will give us? It will give us 32. Now this 32 will store in place of %d. So in output screen we will get 32 as result. Now \n, that means system will come to the next line in output screen. Now after printf instruction we get this closing brace, that means from here system will go to the increment statement in the for loop. System will go to the increment statement in for loop. Now here the value of I will be updated to 1, and after execution of this printf and after increment the value of I, system comes to the conditions in the for loop. Now what is the value of I? The value of I is 1 less than 5, that means again the condition becomes true. Now again system will execute all of these 3 instructions. So let's do it one by one. So now in I means now 1. So in x1 b plus I, and the value of b is 66 plus 1, that means 67. So in x1 now the new value stored is 67. Now coming to the next statement, that is yi. So here the value of b, ASCII value of b is 98 plus 1, that means 99. So in y1 the new value stored will be 99. Clear? Now the printf. In printf again what we will do? %d, then here this particular instruction. What is this instruction? This instruction is y, the value of I now is 1, y1 minus x1. So what is there in y1? In y1 we have 99, and in x1 we have 67, so it will be 67, and the result is 32. So this 32 is the result of this particular expression. Now this 32 will print in place of %d. So in the output screen again we will get 32 and \n, then control come to the next line in the output screen. Now again closing brace for this for loop. So control come to the increment statement and increment the value of I to, now comes here in the condition. Now the condition becomes I is 2 less than 5, that means the condition is again true. Now enter inside the loop body. Now xi, that means x2, the value will be b, that means 66 plus 2, that means 68. Now the next instruction. In next instruction again the value of b is 98, and then I is 2, so 98 plus 2, that means 100. So this 100 will store in y2. Now printf. In printf again the statement becomes y2 minus x2. Now what is there in y2? In y2 we have 100 and in x2 we have 68. So 100 minus 68. What is the result? Result will be 32 again. Now this 32 again display in the output screen and we get one more 32 and then backslash n, that means control come to the next line. Clear? Now closing brace. Again control go to the increment statement, increment the value of I and it becomes 3. Now the termination condition, so this condition is become 3 minus 3 less than 5, that means condition again true. Now it will work for xi, that means x3. In x3 b plus I and the value of I is 3 and the ASCII value of b is 66, so 66 plus 3, that means 69. Now this value will store here and the value becomes 69 in x3. Now in y, now in array y, the index is 3, the value of b is 98, 98 plus 3, that means 101 becomes here in y3. Now here again the printf y3, so the value of y3 is 101 minus x3, the value of x3 is 69. So now we get 101 minus 69, that means the result again becomes 32. So this 32 will display again in the output screen and the control come to the next line because of this printf instruction. Now after execution of this printf instruction, control get this closing brace for this for loop. So control comes again to the increment statement, increment the value of I and it becomes 4. Now the termination condition. So the value of I is 4 less than 5, that means it will be true. So enter inside the for loop xi, that means x4, b means 66 plus 4, that means 70. Now this value will become 70 in xi, that means x4. So in x4 the new value 70 is stored. Clear? Now the next instruction, that is y I means 3 in array y3, the value of I is now 4. The value of I is 4, that means this value will store in y4. So what is the value here? The value of b, the ASCII value of b is 98 plus I, that means 4. So 98 plus 4, that means it will become 102 and this 102 will store in y4. So in y4 the result becomes 102. Clear? Now the printf instruction. In this printf instruction again we encounter this expression. So what is the value of yi, that means y4? Y4 contains 102 and xi, that means x4 contains 70. So 102 minus 70, that means it will give us again 32 and this 32 will display here. So we get one more 32 in the output screen and then backslash n. Because of backslash n, control comes to the next line in the output screen. After that closing brace, so control again go to this increment instruction and increment the value of I and it becomes 5. Now this condition, so now the condition becomes 5 less than 5, that means the value, this condition will becomes false. Now when this particular condition becomes false, at that time control will not execute this for loop anymore, and that means control will not enter inside the for loop anymore and control come out this for loop and then it encounter the closing brace and this closing brace for the function body for main function. That means the program of that means the execution of this particular program is completed and what we get as output, the result this particular program produce us is this one. So the result will be 32, 32, 32, 32, 32. That means 32 will display 5 times and each time it will display in a new line. Clear? So here for this particular program execution, this is our memory portion and all these execution are part of processing. This is processing part and this part is also processing part. This is again a processing part. That means when system execute this particular program, at that time this much, all this memory is allocated from the stack section, and to execute the program, system use all these operations. At the time of this particular program execution, system perform all these operations. Clear? And it will produce this as our output of this particular program. Clear? So hope you understood the problem, how we resolve and how we execute a given code segment and find its result. Clear? So that's it for today. See you soon in our next class. Thank you.